Well, if you come to Spain or Scotland, we will go to a football game.
Oh, wow, that's good. That's
Maybe
good.
better, maybe better in Spain because the football in Scotland is not very good quality.
Yeah, yeah. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks. How are you today?
Great, great. And I'm also well. And sir, could you please tell me, like, introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. My name is Ross. I am an ESL teacher. I am originally from Scotland, but I have been living in Spain for the last 3 years. Um, Obviously, how myself and you met was through my Instagram page, English with Context, and it's a resource that I like to use to help aid ESL students in learning English.
Okay, that's wonderful. And also, I will provide like all the links of your Instagram page in my description box so that my learners, my viewers can check it out.
That's very kind of you, Indra. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And so I just want to know that you are from Spain, right?
So I'm actually from Scotland, but I moved to Spain 3 years ago.
Okay, okay. I see. So in Spain, what is the second language after Spanish?
It depends on the province that you're in. Of course, the country speaks Spanish, but in each province that you go to, many of them tend to have their own local language. For example, if you go to Barcelona, which is in Catalonia, they are going to speak Catalan.
Okay,
I live in Valencia, so they have their own
okay,
local language, which is Valencian as well. So it kind of in Spain is kind of interesting because each sort of region has a kind of local language as well. So it's extra
Hmm.
difficult if you have to pick up two languages.
Yes. Like in India also, like India has diversity, so there are a lot of people speak different languages. I live in Kolkata, West Bengal, eastern part of India.
So what would be the languages that are spoken there?
The native language is Bengali, but like mostly in India they speak Hindi.
India, yeah. I used to work with two guys from India, and I think the two languages they spoke were Hindi and Punjabi.
Okay, I see. That's great. That's great. Yes. And like we are very willing to learn English, and we want to be fluent in English. So, like, what is your opinion? What kind of tips you want to share for the audience, for the viewers?
I think I probably have two main tips. The first one is don't be scared to look stupid or to make mistakes,
Hmm.
because this is a key thing you have to overcome. You are not going to learn unless you make mistakes. I understand it from my own point of view from learning Spanish. It's a bit awkward sometimes when you're speaking another language and you don't understand the person or they don't understand you because you're making mistakes or you're not understanding clearly. It's quite an uncomfortable feeling. But
Yeah,
once you overcome that uncomfortable feeling, you can make a lot of good progress. The second
that's
tip
true.
I have would be for like retaining vocabulary is if you learn a word or phrase, use it as soon as possible in a conversation with
Okay.
someone.
Yeah.
For me personally, that's the best way for me to retain like vocabulary and new phrases. And what I like to do a lot in my classes is if I'm teaching vocabulary or new phrases, I immediately ask the student to create an example
Okay.
sentence.
That's good.
For me, yeah, it's the best way to retain information.
Yes. Yes. That's that wonderful tips you have shared, and I think that my viewers can be benefited with these tips. And sir, I just like you are learning Spanish, or you have already learned Spanish.
I'm certainly still in the process. I would say I have a quite a good level for a British person, but
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I would say so. If you're familiar with like IELTS or Cambridge levels, I would say
Yes, I know. Like I watch videos on YouTube.
so. Like when it comes to Cambridge, I'm probably between a B1 and B2 level, or if we're using
Okay.
IELTS, maybe around a 6 or a 6.5. So a good level, but there's certainly room for improvement, and I'm working very hard with every day.
That's really great. And one question I want to ask you, like, mind goes blank while
Hmm.
delivering speech or while presenting something. So how to overcome such situation? Like it happens due to lack of vocabs.
I think sometimes you just need the time to think, and don't be scared of that silence when you are thinking.
Hmm.
I think many people, when they have a break in between speech, they use a lot of filler words. Even I am guilty of it sometimes. But be comfortable with that silence while you're taking time to think, and try not to panic, because you can
Oh,
find the word that you're looking for, or sort of navigate another path to say the thing that you want to say. So my advice would be comfortable with the silence, and try not to feel uncomfortable not saying anything sometimes.
yes, yes, that's true. And sometimes some people like get scared, as you said that don't be scared. So that is very important. Like to see or to observe many people. So sometimes it happens, but yeah, it can it can be overcome by practicing a lot. I think.
Yeah, it's a
Uh,
scary thing. It's a scary thing
mm,
speaking in another language, especially to a native. So it's certainly not an easy thing to do, and I think that's why language learning is such like a big community, because everyone understands it's not an easy thing to do. So yeah, be uncomfortable with making it, or get over feeling uncomfortable, making mistakes, feeling stupid, because we all know that feeling.
yeah, true, true. And sir, if you have that, just share your best experience as a tutor and worst experience. Like not experience, I can say like worst incident you have faced,
I think
if
as a
if
tutor,
any.
certainly, I would say within 6 months of my first job, it was kind of realizing that teaching English don't have to follow a set rule set, to teach the
Mm,
language. You can have a lot of flexibility to teach it in a fun and dynamic way, or
absolutely.
even choosing things that I'm interested in as a way of teaching. So I really like the flexibility, kind of having that light bulb moment. There's so many ways that I can incorporate different topics and ideas into lessons, and I don't have to do strictly textbook learning for exams,
Yeah.
because it's a bit boring, right? So I'm covering that, and I guess as well, meeting a lot of people from different walks of life as well. Of course, when I worked in an academy, in schools here in Spain, predominantly the students are Spanish, but I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of students from Asia online, Japan, Thailand, Taiwan, and it's amazing to learn about cultures and different countries that I've never visited, or not
Mm,
had much information about beforehand. So I'd say certainly that's been the best thing for me, meeting lots of different people. When
absolutely.
it comes to worst incident, like
Have you faced in your life anything, or not being a teacher, like as a life experience you just learned from this bad incident?
I think when I first arrived in Spain, I'd never lived in a foreign country before, and it was a big
Okay.
career change, because at university I studied business, and while I was at university, I was working in a supermarket. But this was over the
Okay.
so around 5 years I was doing. So when I
I
first
see.
came to Spain, first sort of like day or two when I was there, I had the anxiety of, what am I doing? This is a big mistake. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no experience teaching, and I didn't really speak the language that great. I thought
Mm,
before I had a good command of the language, and as soon as I arrived, I quickly realized, oh my god, this is going to be really difficult. So I think that sort of feeling of anxiety, and thinking that self doubt as well, thinking I'm not going to be able to do a good job, or that I'm
mm,
going to fail. was certainly maybe the worst I've felt in that period of time. But as time went on, I realized that I
Mm.
could get over it. I think everyone experiences self doubt, especially if you go into a new career and a big change like that in your life. So
Mm.
overcoming that, even though it was the worst thing, worst feeling I probably experienced, getting over it was certainly one of the best things I was able to achieve.
Yeah, actually, yes, like life never stops teaching. So you have to learn, and learning is limitless. So go ahead, and life is like I can say, yeah, it may be difficult or it may be easier, but you have to learn everything and whatever you can, and just go ahead. You can. Life is very beautiful, though it is difficult, but it is very beautiful to
I think
experience.
there's a nice expression. The goalposts are always moving, so you kind of set yourself a target. You achieve the target, you can achieve something else. So don't limit
Mm.
yourself. I think
Yeah.
the problem I had when I first came was I'm not going to be able to even do this job at an academy very well. But as time's gone on, I look back at that time in the academy, and I think, wow, I wish I could go back because I know so much more now.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I just wanted to ask you about your own sort of English language journey. What would you say has been the most difficult aspect of English learning you have found?
Most difficult aspect, like most difficult thing, I can say to communicate with others, because in my locality they are very willing to speak in their native languages, and when you want to speak English they will say, what are you talking about? I can't understand. It is not encourage me to speak with you or to have a gossip. So that's kind of lack of practice nowadays we are facing, like my students and also sometimes me are facing, because English is very necessary nowadays, and for interview, to crack an interview, to get a decent job in India especially. And like, if you believe or not, if you in India, if you know English, you will be treated very sophisticated. That's true. That's the harsh reality. And if you can't speak English, then you will, the people will treat you like, oh, you are not that educated enough, though you have good enough of knowledge of your subject, but you will not be treated that well enough if you can't speak English. So this is the harsh reality in India. So nowadays, India is really developing country and it is growing really well. So many people wants to go abroad, and many people want to learn, like want to continue higher study. So they need English language. So they want to study in, and also they prefer to study in English language from class one, like grade one. So that's why it's becoming very challenging, and also it is very interesting to learn English, because this is the pillar of nowadays, like by which you can communicate with world.
Uh, a lot of native speakers don't realize in English, don't realize how lucky they are to be born with that as a native language. Because, as you said, it is the language of the world almost. Um, if I go to, even when I'm in Spain, if a French person comes and they are visiting Spain, they'll have to speak to the Spanish person in English because that's the kind of the language you have to compromise on. So I feel very lucky to be born as a native speaker, and I feel like a lot of native speakers don't realize this. They're very
Yeah.
lucky to be born. So yeah, I think you've done a great job because you have a very amazing level in English. So I think I understand it's a
Thank you
fun
so much, sir.
learn.
Thank you so much, sir.
So yeah, I think you've done a great job. And another question I have for you actually is: do you have any desire to go abroad, work in the future, or do you want to stay in India to focus on your business?
Absolutely, like I want to explore different countries, especially English speaking countries, and also Spain, Italy, because I want to know, because I am a football fan. So I love to explore football, like English speaking country and also European country. But yes, I it is my dream to travel because I love traveling. That's why I'm learning English so well.
Have you traveled to the UK or any countries in Europe?
Not yet. I have not visited outside India. So I even like after getting a decent job in my field or after getting a job, I want to definitely go abroad. Or sometimes it may happen if everything is okay, then I want to go to abroad to get a job.
Well, if you come to Spain or Scotland, we will go to a football game.
Oh, wow, that's cool. That's
Maybe
cool.
better, maybe better in Spain because the football in Scotland is not very good quality.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand.
So yeah,
Yes.
I think yeah, you're more than welcome in Spain and in Scotland as well. If you come to Scotland, go in the summertime because it's very cold and it rains a lot.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's true.
That's all. But yeah, Indra, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate
Thank you, sir.
the channel and everything like that. So
Yes. And thank you very much for joining my session. It is really wonderful, and I am really blessed to meet such a great tutor. And hope to see you soon again to
I
collab.
appreciate the kind words, Indra. Thank you very much for having me, and for me, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Hope to see you soon. Take care of yourself.
Likewise, take care. Thank you very much.
Yeah, bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.